One of the Bay Area's most prominent politicians, as well as one of its most notorious ex-cons, are both in federal custody. We'll tell you about the major operation underway as we speak.
We've got team coverage of this breaking news, plus the shockwaves it's sending through Sacramento all the way to Mayor Ed Lee's office.
And cracking down on bikini bars in the South Bay only on KPIX 5 today, the main weapon in the fight to shut down the worst offenders.
The news at noon is next.
Live from the CBS Bay Area studios, this is KPIX 5 News.
A well-known Chinese gangster and a state senator handcuffed and indicted.
That's shocking news.
One of several FBI raids took place at State Senator Leland Yee's office before agents took him into federal custody.
I heard a loud thump that woke me up.
Now we're asking how the raids, Senator Lee and the infamous Raymond Shrimp Boy Chow are connected.
And good afternoon, everyone. I'm Frank Malicote.
I'm Michelle Griego. We have team coverage on this breaking story. KPIX 5's Ann Makovic is live at City Hall with reaction from the mayor.
But first, we turn to our Joe Vasquez live at San Francisco's federal building with the very latest on these raids. Joe?
Frank, it was an extraordinary sight. Around 9 o'clock this morning, there he was, State Senator Leland Yee, one of our most prominent politicians, one of our longest serving politicians. He was in the back of a police car and actually a federal agent's car. Right now he's being booked and processed inside the federal courthouse.
Senator Yee?
State Senator Leland Yee sits silently in the back of a sedan driven by federal agents. He was arrested early this morning at his San Francisco home.
I can actually confirm at this time that the FBI is conducting multiple search warrants and arrest warrants throughout the San Francisco Bay Area. I can also confirm that State Senator Leland Yee is also a part of the ongoing investigation that's taking place at this time.
The FBI says it can't comment on charges as the operation is ongoing. Senator Yee's arrest comes as agents have fanned across the Bay Area and Sacramento.
This morning, the FBI is executing multiple arrest and search warrants. That's all I have at this moment. I request that you allow us to conduct these operations.
FBI spokesman Pete Lee says he can't elaborate and can't even tell us what the charges are against Senator Yee. Agents are also searching Yee's Senate office in Sacramento. Also arrested today, Raymond Chow, also known as Shrimp Boy. FBI agents spent hours at his office at the Gi Kung Tong in Chinatown on Spofford Street. A house on Hyde Street was also surrounded by feds.
It was like 5:30 in the morning, and I heard a loud thump that woke me up. So I went into the hallway, and I peeked my head out the door, and there was a guy leaned up against the apartment door with a gat.
FBI and IRS agents are on the scene in the 600 block of 42nd Avenue in San Mateo. Senator Yee is scheduled to face a federal judge early this afternoon. We expect charges will be detailed. And in fact, this operation continues as we speak. As you heard that lady state, it started in the pre-dawn hours. The sun wasn't even up as they were making arrests, executing these search warrants. They're continuing right now. We know of at least 5 locations where federal agents, Michelle, have fanned out across the Bay Area and Sacramento, trying to get to the bottom of this and executing what are clearly warrants that they've been working on for some time.
Well, Joe, as you were saying, you were talking about multiple locations across the Bay Area. What are your sources telling you about possible connections?
Well, you know, it's very difficult in this snapshot in time. It's noon. We've watched Senator Leland Yee come in. That was our confirmation, was actually seeing him with our own eyes. They're not saying very much here, but is our understanding that this afternoon at 1:30, both of those men that we labeled there, they will be going before a judge. They will lay out a myriad of charges, and then we will have a chance to look through them and try and understand how they're connected. But it is our understanding that this man, Shrimp Boy Chow, who is a known organized crime convict, what he was arrested for is, in fact, very much related to what the state senator was arrested for.
Certainly shocking. All right, Joe Vasquez live in San Francisco. Thank you. And continuing our team coverage, KPIX 5's Ann Makovic is outside City Hall getting reaction from Leland Yee's colleagues. Ann?
A lot of people were very, very shocked to hear the news this morning. And I was one of the first reporters to speak with Mayor Ed Lee about it just before 9 o'clock. And at that point, he didn't want to say much because nothing was even confirmed. Well, I told him that it was a done deal. Leland Yee was in federal custody. And here's what he said.
Shocking news to me. It's many years of public service, so I don't know what's occurred there. And again, it's the FBI doing their investigations, and we don't have really much input in that. I hope for the best.
Mayor Ed Lee reacting to the news that Leland Yee was arrested this morning. Yee has been a part of San Francisco politics for many years as an assemblyman and a San Francisco supervisor. Current supervisor John Avalos.
It really erodes a lot of faith people have right now in our government institutions.
The news came as a shock across all platforms, many on social media questioning what's next. One tweet asks, is Leland Yee a fall guy or will there be a domino effect? I've lived here quite a while. It could go either way. Another suggests now his entire voting record should be scrutinized. And since Leland Yee was running for Secretary of State, his opponents are ready to react as well. Candidate Derek Crossman sent out a statement reading, "We are clearly beyond the point of looking at one bad apple and instead looking at a corrupt institution in the California Senate. The constant begging for campaign cash clearly has a corrosive effect on a person's soul, and the only solution is to get big money out of our politics once and for all."
Senator Leland Yee is going to, have his due process, and due process is not making sure he's not being tried in the media as well. So I hope that can happen for him.
I spoke with a lot of politicians that just didn't even want to touch this. They don't even want their name associated with what happened here. I think we're going to see a lot of that in the future. People trying to distance themselves from Leland Yee in the future, and certainly for many of his past dealings as well. Live in San Francisco, Ann Makovic, KPIX 5.
And thanks. And as we mentioned, notorious Chinatown gangster Raymond Shrimp Boy Chow was also taken into custody this morning. Chow, no stranger to Bay Area law enforcement, and has a criminal record going back decades. KPIX 5's Linda Yee has profiled Raymond Chow in the past and has a little something on his background.
I sure do. Raymond Chow, as we all know now, it's been also known as Shrimp Boy, is one of the most notorious criminals in Chinatown history. And he has been the target of a murder investigation since 2006. San Francisco homicide investigators and at the time the police gang task force suspected Raymond Chow had something to do with the murder of Chinatown businessman Alan Leung. Leung was the dragonhead or leader of Two Tongs, social clubs that are sometimes targeted by criminals. The year before Leung was gunned down in 2006, he told the FBI he feared for his life after his tong refused to pay $120,000 to Raymond Chow. Chow attended Leung's funeral, boldly dressing in white. Chow never talked publicly about his past crimes and the new murder suspicions until he spoke to KPIX 5 at the time. Some who say he dressed in white to stand out in the crowd and to say, see, I'm a big shot here.
What they know about our culture and tradition.
Do you know who killed Alan Leung?
No.
Did you order it?
No.
Chow had just finished serving a 26-year federal prison term for gun running. He and his gang members, known as the Hop Sing Tong Boys, were accused of racketeering, heroin smuggling, and murder for hire. Chow says when he was 17, he admitted he extorted $30,000 a week protection money that he demanded from illegal mahjong parlors. And if they didn't pay, what would you do?
Well, I got to do whatever I got to do.
Like what?
Well, I beat them up. I check them. You know.
You beat up the owners?
Yeah.
During this interview, Chow said he was through with crime and going straight. Within weeks of this interview, Chow then took over as the head of the Jigung Tong. That was Alan Leung's position before he was killed. Police sources told me at the time they suspected that Chow continued to recruit new gang members to continue his crimes.
And this continues to unfold. Okay, Linda, thank you for that. And to recap once again, what happened over the course of the last couple of hours, several FBI raids took place in the Bay Area and up in Sacramento this morning, including at State Senator Leland Yee's office and his home. Yee has been arrested on charges of bribery and public corruption. Yee is scheduled to be arraigned in about an hour at the federal building in San Francisco. Another big player arrested following the raids, infamous Chinatown gangster you just heard about, Raymond Shrimp Boy Chow. We've got A team of reporters and photographers covering the story right now. More throughout the day at KPIX.com and, of course, tonight at 5.
In other news, some much-needed rain pounded San Francisco earlier today. It's slowing down now, but we're not completely out of the clear just yet. Right, Lawrence?
No, not at all. In fact, we're going to see more rain coming, and the storm door is wide open now. Still, our high-def Doppler radar showing you that rain coming through early on today. And, yeah, we had some heavy downpours, reports of some hail and some thunderstorms outside. And still, we're not done. We've still got more rain continuing across the Bay Area. It's just more widely scattered now, and I think that's what we're expecting to see. Showers continuing in toward Milpitas, but you can see some downpours as we head toward Fremont and Hayward, seeing some heavier rainfall there. Out along the peninsula, Half Moon Bay, you've got a pretty nice cell that's sliding in your direction there. And in San Bruno, get ready. You've got another band of moisture that's just about to move on shore and more showers into San Francisco. It's going to be a very interesting afternoon today. We're going to see more scattered showers, some rainbows, and the possibility of isolated thunderstorms. We'll have more on your weather, guys, coming up in just a couple minutes. Back to you.
All right, Lawrence, thank you. 6 people went to the hospital after a crash in San Francisco in the midnight hour. A car heading west on Geary Street slammed into a van on Van Ness Avenue. The van rolled over and collided with a pole. Witnesses and police say the car's driver tried to run away. Police managed to catch the suspected driver, who is in her 20s. Everyone involved is expected to survive.
There is now some new hope in finding that missing Malaysia airliner. They think they found parts of the wreckage. Malaysian officials released some new satellite photos this morning showing more than 100 objects floating in the Indian Ocean. Also today, victims' families sat behind Australia's Prime Minister as he pledged his government will do all that it can to find out exactly what happened.
KPIX 5 first uncovered illegal adult entertainment clubs masquerading as cafes. Coming up, our Kit Doe finds out if the resulting police crackdown is actually working.
Emergency workers in Washington have resorted to using cadaver dogs to find more than 100 missing. But the question still stands. Were local leaders aware of the risks of mudslides in the area? The conflicting response from Washington state officials.
Rain is expected straight through Saturday in western Washington, making the search for victims of last weekend's deadly mudslide even more complicated.
Kate Kogarin is in the newsroom with the latest on the search. Kate?
Frank and Michelle, right now they're focused on the more than 100 people still missing as their families hold out hope they're still alive. Meanwhile, Washington state officials are giving conflicting answers as to whether or not they knew that area was at risk. You're taking a look at new video from Saturday. You can see a rescue team lifting a 4-year-old boy to safety. Now, John Pennington, the director of Snohomish County Emergency Management, said they knew about the dangers and risks of this area. However, earlier this week, Pennington said this was, quote, unforeseen and came out of nowhere. Pennington also claimed not to be aware of a U.S. Army Corps of Engineer report issued 15 years ago warning them of a potential catastrophe. Meanwhile, the desperate search continues. Now, dogs specifically trained to search for bodies after a disaster are making their way to the square mile of devastation as others use their bare hands to sift through the thick mud.
You just have high water. We've got a lot of clay, slippery wood that from all the debris from the mudslide, and the teams carefully worked their ways through that, so we didn't have people getting injured.
Of people believed missing remains at 176, although officials stress that tally hasn't been verified and could include duplicate names. Firefighters say the chances of finding anyone else alive are slim. The force of the mudslide turned neighborhoods into rubble and tore vehicles into pieces. Now, officials say it could take weeks to recover the bodies of all those killed in the mudslide. Reporting live in the newsroom, Kate Kogarin, KPIX 5.
It's heartbreaking to see all those images from the mudslide, and they're getting more rain.
And they're getting more rain now.
And the before and after shots, how much mud came down.
And they've had a whole lot of rain up there this year, and eventually some of the ground just gives way. This year we haven't had to worry about that so much in the Bay Area, haven't had that much rain. But today, getting a nice little soaker outside, things beginning to break up a little bit, but still some pretty good downpours in spots. Our high-def Doppler radar is showing you things more widely scattered now as compared to widespread rain this morning. Look at this cell that's sliding on through near Hayward and Fremont. You're seeing some rain there. Get ready in Livermore. It's about to start dumping on you here very shortly. And then there's more rain, scattered showers into the afternoon. But rainfall total so far, almost an inch of rain at St. Helena and San Francisco. You had over half an inch in Petaluma, Dublin, over a third, just about a third in Redwood City, and just over a tenth of an inch of rain rain in San Jose. So we are continuing to see some showers into the afternoon and probably a couple of rainbows too. There's still a slight chance of an isolated thunderstorm. Tonight, you're going to see a lot of clouds, the possibility of a few more showers, and another storm coming our way for the weekend. That storm door is open now. That trough continues along the west coast, so we've got a lot of moisture off the coastline that we're bringing some more showers as we head in toward tonight and probably into tomorrow as well. Around the state, if you're traveling, a completely different day today with the showers showing up outside. Lots of snow in the high country, maybe 1 to 2 feet of snow by the time we add things up by tomorrow afternoon. Snow level running at about 5,000 feet, so yeah, you could see 2 to 4 inches of snow right down to the lake level. All right, let's try and time this out for you. As we head into the afternoon, the showers becoming more widely scattered outside. A couple of breaks in between with some sunshine. And then as we look toward tomorrow morning, maybe a few more showers early on for the commute tomorrow. And then the middle of the day, we've got another system sliding on through. So going to keep things a little bit unsettled. Not a big storm coming our way, but still a little bit on the wet side. Temperature is going to be in the 50s and some low 60s for highs today. Your sunset time is 7:27. Sunrise is 7:02. But how about this as we look toward the next couple days? Just some unsettled weather. That rain probably going to shift a little further to the north on Friday. Then another storm for everybody on Saturday. Dry on Sunday. More rain coming our way, it looks like, on Monday into Tuesday, guys. How about that for spring?
How about that for spring?
Yeah.
Well, it's okay. We need it.
Yeah.
All right, thanks.
Thank you, Lawrence. And a reminder before we go to break, if you got a consumer problem or a question out there, give our hotline a call, 888-5HELPS-YOU. We got some volunteers standing up right now. Take those phone calls. We'll be right back.
Only on KPIX 5, cracking down on bikini bars in the South Bay. Since we first reported the problem in November, there's been a general decrease in businesses breaking the rules.
Still, as KPIX reporter Kit Doe tells us, illegal businesses continue to pop up, and we must warn you, some of the images you're about to see are explicit.
The last time we showed you Galaxy Bar and Restaurant, it was the lap dance capital of the South Bay. All that bumping and grinding cost just $20. Galaxy raked in thousands of dollars a night, turning San Jose into a mecca of illegal adult entertainment. But after our November report, the State Department of Alcoholic Beverage Control and San Jose Police turned up the pressure. Galaxy was suspended for 30 days and shut down. How much did our story influence you?
Your story really brought to light that it's happening in more frequency than we see.
4 months ago, when we showed Council Member Javier Campos our hidden camera footage, he had no idea his district was home to some of the worst offenders.
Shocked. That looks like a strip club.
San Jose's scantily clad waitresses have gotten increasingly raunchy over the years. Lingerie was followed by nudity, and the crime wasn't far behind. 2 people have been shot and killed at Vietnamese cafes. The most recent victim was a well-liked engineer last summer. Campos has now made it a priority to investigate citizen complaints. His main weapon? Code enforcement officers, who make surprise visits and cite establishments for smoking, gambling, tinted windows, and nude servers. When the Twin Palms Cafe opened up along Capitol Expressway in East San Jose, advertising good-looking waitresses, and restricted customers to 18 and over, neighbors complained. Code enforcement officers stopped by, and shortly after, Twin Palms closed its doors for good.
My message to them is, don't do it in San Jose. If you're going to open a cafe, but we don't want businesses that masquerade themselves and really they're fronts for go-go nightclubs.
San Jose police say it's unrealistic to completely eliminate nudity and illegal lap dances in the city.
And it's just something that we're going to have to continually be on the lookout for and manage as it appears.
That was Kit Doe reporting. Galaxy Management did not return our phone calls. The business has reopened under the name Paradise. San Jose police say they will closely monitor it now for illegal activity.
Listen up, brides-to-be. You've got your wedding planner and caterer, but what about your social media expert? How one New York hotel wants to make sure your wedding is picture and Twitter perfect. Wedding season is right around the corner, and a new expense is popping up just in time. A social media wedding concierge making the rounds on Twitter today, a unique media service being offered by a New York hotel company. The package includes a wedding hashtag, live tweets throughout the night, a wedding blog, and more. The cost, $3,000.
And to recap our breaking news at the top of the hour, several FBI raids took place in the Bay Area and in Sacramento this morning.
Including raids at State Senator Leland Yee's office and home. Yee has been arrested on charges of bribery and public corruption.
Yee is scheduled to be arraigned at 1:30 at the federal building in San Francisco and also arrested in the infamous Chinatown gangster Raymond Shrimp Boy Chow.
We will have team coverage starting at 5 p.m. and throughout the day. You can check for updates on our website, kpix.com.
And a little bit of rain, too. When's that leaving us?
Yeah, just some scattered showers. Going to be on and off right through the weekend and probably the beginning of next week, guys.
All right, there you go. Have a great day, everyone.
Take care.